Hi lovely people, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Laura, menopausal mum, and I've proved you can thrive rather than just survive during menopause. And today I want to talk to you about the importance of cornerstone habits during perimenopause and menopause because, let's face it, motivation and willpower can change during this time, be even harder. And so it's really important to have these positive automated habits in place which can steer us in the right direction when we're not necessarily having that mojo or feeling motivated. Now, when you understand the habit cycle, it can be much easier to re-engineer a bad habit or to start something new. And I'll explain that cycle to you in a minute. But first, just to explain that the brain automates things for two main reasons. One, because it feels good, you get a dopamine hit from it. That's why we're addicted to our phones and we like eating sugar. Or it's just because it sees that you repeat things over and over, so therefore it gives it importance and starts to automate it. So typically habits go through 4 key stages. So there's always a cue to start the habit. So that could be a sound, a smell, something in your environment that triggers you to start something which fulfills a need or a craving. You then repeat that habit and then there's some reward as part of it. So if I were to give you a very basic example with the phone, so cue 11 o'clock, you finish some work, you're a bit bored, you want to have a bit of distraction, which is obviously the craving. You go and you scroll for half an hour, maybe get a bit distracted, and the reward is that dopamine hit, that feel good from seeing some likes or whatever. So once we understand that process, if we're trying to stop a bad habit, we could interrupt at the cue level where we change the inputs coming in. So say, for example, it's a very silly example, but if you're an alcoholic, you don't walk past the pub. It's that kind of thing. Or you could interrupt it at the actual habit itself. So you could replace it with something else. When it comes to starting a new habit, those different stages are important because you can start to put new cues in place, like putting your trainers by the door to prompt you to go on a run. And obviously things like the reward at the end of it is really important. So if you can tap into when you're starting a new habit why you're doing it and really emphasize that reward, then that's going to motivate you to make a change. So the work that I do with people is all about establishing these habits. And one of the big things for me, the big learnings, was moving away from, when making change, trying to do hundreds of different things and trying to do this big program of change, when what the fundamental thing was about taking one small thing and creating it into a habit so that it became automated, and then it made my life easier because I was doing it on repeat. So really, my advice to you during perimenopause and menopause is to, rather than bombard yourself with loads of different changes, to just take one thing and work with that cycle to instill that process in. And believe it or not, it takes 21 days to start a habit and about 66 days to solidify it. So what you need to be doing is you need to be taking one cornerstone habit, and these can be things as simple as maybe having an overnight fast. By an overnight fast, I mean stopping eating at 6 o'clock and starting having your breakfast later in the morning so you have that time to restoke your metabolism. It could be as simple as half a plate of vegetables at every meal, which you would do on repeat, which just becomes something that you naturally do. That can reduce your calorie consumption by 20%, and it also increases the amount of micronutrients that you bring into your diet, which is really important for perimenopause. So there's lots of things you can do. It can be as simple as blocking out your diary before you do anything else for your self-care, before anything else comes in. You repeat this over and over and over, so it becomes so ingrained that it just happens. And those are the kind of things that we need to do. We take one habit, we nail it, and then we do something else. So I hope you've enjoyed that talk, all about habits. Key summary points for you: focus on habits rather than trying to change too many things at once. Focus on following that habit cycle, making sure you have the right cues in place, the right rewards in place, and that you repeat until that habit is installed. Honestly, it will change your life. I hope you've enjoyed this talk today. Do comment below if you've enjoyed and are finding these talks useful. I'll be back next week with another topic all about well-being and menopause and perimenopause. Take care. Bye.